Hi everyone, so we are back on with the PowerApps Art Project. Last time round we created an icon for the app, and this time round I am going to start doing a bit of work with images. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to revert to an earlier version of one of your projects. So I'm just going to go onto this screen. So if you end up on the home screen, you can start there obviously, but if you don't see your app, you can always move to this apps screen and you can see lots more apps there. So I am going to go on to the details screen for that app, and you can see that it's got versions. Now when I was having a bit of a play with things earlier on, I would have done a recording, but actually I'd rather restore it to what it was before. So the latest previous version was on the 25th of Feb. So I'm going to go to restore that. It's going to restore it over the top of this one. So hit the restore button, and 6 is now my latest version, which is effectively a copy of 4. And if I go and edit this, I always edit on the web. We're going to go into the app, and the plan this time round is to capture an image when we first create the project. So here it goes, loading up, very nice. Go hit the play button and make sure that it's actually doing what we think it should do. So go create a new project, that's good. What I'm going to do here is click onto a bit of blank space on the form. I'm just going to drag it up a little bit so that our create new project stays at the bottom. There are other ways of doing this, and I'm going to drag this down a little bit. It's not an amazing use of space, if I'm perfectly honest, but we'll run with it. And now I am going to start using the camera icon. So I'm going to go and insert, go to media, and if you hit camera, then it starts using the camera on your device. So here we go. We hit camera, then says that your camera isn't set up, it wakes up eventually, and we can see that it's actually just, that is my rear facing camera, and I can play around with this, move it to where I need to move it, but if we click on it, it does absolutely nothing, because if you look on select, it does nothing at all. And so what we need to do is to collect the data from this, and so that we can make use of it. So the instruction on that is we're going to do a clear collect. So that means if there was anything there before, then we'll get rid of it. We are going to use camera. We are going to name the collection that we're putting things into. So I'm going to say, I always put CN in front of collections. So I want to call it CN latest image, and into that we are going to put camera1 dot URL, and if we close the brackets, I think it might be a capital URL. Oops, that was a mistake by me. Go on there, we'll just check the on select, bit of operator error going on there. So camera 1, it's not happy with that, but I'm pretty sure that it's okay. I will need to just test that out. It's not actually camera1.url, it's actually camera1.photo. So it's going to pop that into a collection. So what I'll do is demonstrate what's actually happening here. So if I go to the play button and I click on there, then unbeknownst to ourselves, if we go to the file and then down to collections, we can see that into CN latest image we have collected an image, and in fact it's actually a text string, which we'll see later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate what is in there. So I am going to insert some media. So insert media, and it is an image, and just move this across, and we have to use the first function because we created a collection which could have lots of lines. We have to say first, which means it's going to pick the first one, which is there's only one for it to choose from. So we will go first, and then we go collection latest image, and then close the brackets, and the field that we want is .url. And so what that's done is it's taken the most recent image. So in fact, if I move that around, and I would need to click on it, yeah, you can see that there's a little slight delay going on there, but that's okay. So what you can see is that as we click on it, the image changes, which is great, but it's not quite enough because we want to actually put it into our document. So what I'm going to do is going to go onto the data tab here on the form that we've created, and I'm going to go and have a hunt. I'm going to hunt down this the placeholder for the image. So I'm going to say final project image. I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm going to kind of come off this, and I'm going to make this a multi-line text field. It doesn't really need to be though. It is literally just a text string. But into that we are going to place. We have to go onto this parent default, but if we have to go to advanced, and you always have to go to unlock properties, if that's what you want to do, and instead of it having parent default, which is in this case nothing at all, we want to use this same string. So we can sort of point at this if that's what we want to do. I'm just going to say first cn latest image .url. I need to go close that .url, and what you can see there is that is our string that we've created. You don't even need to show this. You could, if you had that, if you didn't want people looking at that, you could go onto the properties for it, and you can set the visible property to not visible. It would still work though. I'll keep it in there for the moment. So so what we're going to do is we're going to test this out, and we're going to do it by hitting the play button, and I'm not too worried about anything else. I'm just going to go for project name. I'm going to test 1, 2, 3. Project owner is me. Date started. I will put on as the 28th, say, and actually no, I'll say it was the 1st of Feb. Say OK to that. Now, in theory, we don't necessarily need, if we're just using this as a date started, then or rather to initiate the project, we wouldn't know what the completed date was. So maybe it's silly to have it in, but I'll keep it in there for the moment. Project brief, lots of things. Project comments, user, I hope this goes well. And then what we're going to do is we are going to hit I will hit the create project button, but first of all, I don't like the fact that these are overlapping at the moment. So there are other places that we could put this create new project. So there's always better ways of. In fact, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make it a bit smaller, and as I've got a bit of space up the top here, I will pop it up there, and that gives me a bit more space to play with down here. I'm not sure if it's as logical, but it's okay. We can place it wherever we want. So at this point I can go hit the play button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto SharePoint first to show that it's not there, and then hit the play button, and then we'll see that it appears. So I am going to go to straight into my apps. That's fine. Portal.com, my apps, wonderful. Go on to SharePoint. I'm going to go to my education site. And I will, that's terrible, isn't it? I really ought to make this a lot nicer. But anyway, I haven't. So I'm going to go for project header. And I'm going to demonstrate that there's, well, nothing in here, and that we'll end up with something else eventually. So you can see that final project IMG doesn't have anything at all in at the moment. So what I am going to do is go back to my art project. I am going to hit the play button. I'm going to hit create new project. And it now navigates off, which means we should be successful. And we can go onto SharePoint. Oops. And onto this education site, and if we refresh the page, then we should see that we get another item. Whilst I'm here, I do like the IDs to be showing, because we do make use of them later on. So I'm going to go to this item here, so see if we can customize the view. If it actually edit current view, lovely. So when that fires up, I'm going to get the ID field, and I am going to make it my first field there, and then I'm going to OK it, and it should go back, and we should see the ID field on the left hand side. Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, and we can see after all that our image has actually populated. So what I'm going to do, just to kind of verify, is I'm going to go to the edit screen here and just take a little look at this. And so what we can see is that the string ends up in 2q and then equals. I'm not even sure that I'll be able to even display it properly in PowerApps, but I'm fairly sure that, yeah, we haven't actually created a review pane at the moment, so we've got no way of seeing if it's correct or not. So I think in the time that we spent, that's reasonable value for money. I guess what we do now, I think in the next session we will go to this review my projects, which has probably got, in fact it has got absolutely nothing at all in it, and what we'll do is we'll create a gallery with the headlines for the projects. So until next time, thanks very much, bye.